What's up, guys? I wanted to take some time in this video to talk about some of the things due to recent events that have happened. I think that it's time that more people really consider some of their preparation tactics, some of what they do, and I wanted to get into some details about how that world events can affect us and what we need to do to kind of help make things go better for us. The reality is, with the things going on in the Middle East, with the things going on in Ukraine and Eastern Europe, it does not appear to be good for anyone. And, these things could be growing worse. We could, everything could settle out. Everybody could have cooler heads, and we go about the way that we normally would. However, the chances of that happening, I think, are growing less each day with the things that we see in the news, with the attacks on Israel by Hamas, with the escalation in war there. We're seeing Iran starting to try to get involved, and it just seems to be growing. What I wanted to do is to take some time in this video to talk about a few things for you to think about. And I think that this is something that should get most people involved with their communities as well as in preparation for themselves and their families. The reality is, the way that it would hit the average American is, if we were to break out into some kind of major conflict, the way that we're going to be hit, first of all, is in the supply chain. Now, I'm not talking about, people going and trying to run around and steal in mass groups and stuff like that all over the country. I don't think that's something that's going to happen overnight. I think the first thing that you're going to see is you're going to see an impact on the supply chain. Basic goods and things like that here in the United States can become more difficult because the reality is we don't make as much stuff in this country anymore as we once did. Obviously, fuel prices would go up, as they always do anytime something like this happens. And if there's any kind of disruption in the fuel supply chain coming from the Middle East and things like that, it's going to impact us here. And that, in turn, will impact everything. It will impact prices at the grocery store. It will impact everything across the board, anything you could buy. So what you need to do, and this is something that I've talked about a lot in other videos, it would benefit everyone if they would learn to grow a garden. And I know that this time of year here in the United States especially, we're well past gardening season, except for some of you folks that certain areas and that have greenhouses. But don't make the mistake of going out and buying a whole bunch of foods that's just going to spoil. The first thing that you need to do, what you need to consider, what type of foods do you eat normally? Okay, if you are going to build a pantry to store food for you and your family, simply start with the type of foods that you normally eat. Okay, if you're not going to eat it, it's not going to do you any good. Focus on a lot of the non-perishables, things like that are going to last longer, and build up just buying a couple extra at a time. Whenever you go to the grocery store, don't go out and spend a fortune and bankrupt yourself trying to buy all at once everything that you think you're going to need. And this is something, guys, you should have been doing all along. But there is no more important time to start than now. That being said, this is just the first thing, just the first step, first elements, things like that. It is also a good idea for you to get some training. Okay, I'm talking if you do not know how to use a firearm, learn to use one. There again, times for us right now are relatively good. Hopefully they'll stay that way, but you never know. It is important for everyone to get some type of a good understanding of firearms. Okay, you will not rise to the occasion. You will default to the level of training that you have mastered. Another point of training that you need to consider strongly is medical. Some basic first aid, stop the bleed, CPR, things like that. That is very important in this day and age, especially. Even not just with things that are going on now in the Middle East or around the world in Eastern Europe that could affect us. You never know when you could come up on a car wreck. You never know when you are near where someone is injured or having a medical emergency. And if you have the training, you would be a great benefit to them. You might be able to save a life, help someone to live beyond that day. That's something that is just needed more and more these days, in my opinion. I think that a good understanding of first aid, of CPR, is something that more and more people really should have. Okay, that's something that more people really need to get involved in. And with the way that things are going, no one knows. No one knows what it's going to escalate into. It's, that's something that for us, it's unknown. Things have happened before. Now, as far as how bad it gets, that's what we don't know. That's just part of the way things are these days. We don't know what is going to be in the future. Okay. And I think it's important for us to prepare spiritually. Get that Bible out, read it. That's something that not enough people do these days. And it is something that is, in my opinion, one of the many reasons why we're in the shape that we're in. But guys, this is just a quick video that I wanted to do. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What are some of the things that you are doing to prepare you and your family for what could potentially be another major war? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And, we'll just have a conversation. But guys, thanks for watching. Check out all the videos on my channel. Be sure to subscribe, share the video, check out all the links down below, and we'll see you next time.